Good morning, or is it afternoon at this time? Today, I'm pleased to release my FY17 operating budget of $5.3 billion for the year. This budget does two really big things, among other things. First, it increases the county spending on the Montgomery County Public Schools by almost $136 million. That's $90 million over maintenance of effort. And it also addresses the loss of revenue due to the Wynne case. In order to achieve these objectives, this budget also recommends a 3.9-cent increase per $100 of assessed valuation in the property tax over the current year. The budget closes an estimated $178 million gap. Now, you may note that over the last 10 years, I have closed over $3.3 billion in budgetary gaps. That is, putting our financial and budgetary house in order. Despite government closures, sequesters, shutdowns, we maintain our AAA bond rating from the three rating agencies of Moody's, Standard & Poor's, and Fitch. That's a remarkable achievement. But we cannot rest on our laurels. The hard work of fiscal responsibility is not complete. We still have a very fragile national economy recovery. The Wynne case will cost the county up to $50 million in this coming year alone, and we must take these factors into consideration. I'm recommending a tax-supported county government budget of $1.5 billion, that is 1.9% increase over the current year. The total county budget of $5.3 represents a 3.8% increase over the current budget. Now let me talk about schools for just a moment. Lighting the lamp of learning is the most important thing that we do as a county. Now, I could recite chapter and verse about this program or that program in the school system, but indulge me for a minute to show you directly what the light of learning really means to me. This is a home video taken by the brother of the student that you would see. And I want you to watch this video, and I'll explain it to you in a moment.
Isiah, le fidèle, écoutez-moi et moi. Près 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Now, for those of you who don't know it, that's my granddaughter. Now, what's amazing about this video, this was sent to me by her mother, my daughter. This was after 1 month in kindergarten last year. A young lady who I didn't know could even sing at all. But thanks to the great work of our teachers and the people at the Maryville French Immersion Program, in 4 weeks, this is what we've seen. That's an amazing achievement by our teachers. But they can't do that if they have 159,000 students and an inadequate teacher-student ratio. Now, personally, I believe that we need to do something about that. We need to help those very hard-working teachers in our school system. Accordingly, I'm recommending a record county funding for Montgomery County Public Schools. That is $2.4 billion, an increase of $135 million over the last 9 years, a 5.9% increase. County funding of $1.6 billion. That's about 8 to 9 million over the legally maintenance of effort level. and it's 98.3% of the Board of Education's request. This represents a 7.3% increase of the county's contribution. Our public schools have been funded at or below the level defined as the maintenance effort since 2009. On a per-pupil basis, funding has not increased at all. And we're adding about 2,000 students, plus 2,000 students per year. As the population grows and the needs of the student population changes, this approach to funding cannot be maintained when we're dealing with the most valuable assets, our educational system. We have to change it. Now, in addition to the enormous growth in class size, there's been insufficient progress in closing the achievement gap that exists between many of our minority students and our non-minority students. I believe we must provide the superintendent and the Board of Education with additional funds to further address these challenges. Another factor we have to address is the physical impact of the Wynne case, or as I like to refer to it as the lost case. The county is currently advocating legislation in Annapolis that would allow the county to comply with the Wynne case decision. Should that legislation pass, and that legislation will essentially push back the time in which we have to make or spread out the payments so that we can pay it over a longer period of time. If we're able to do that, then I urge the county council to, in effect, reduce the impact of the property tax that I'm arguing for. Because in future years, we'll be faced with even greater problems and difficulties. My proposed property tax rate increase is 3.9%. That is above the current rate. The average tax bill for a house of $464,000 will go up approximately $27 a month. That is about $325 a year. This also includes a $692 tax credit. Now, I have not exceeded the charter limit on property taxes for at least 7 years. Even with this recommended increase, however, county taxes as a share of the county's residential personal income will actually stay below, if you look at it for the last 10 years, is below what we started with in 2007. Over the past 4 years, the average county property tax has gone up a total of $9, or less than $3 per year. Over the same period, you'll note that our very esteemed county to the north, Fairfax County, Virginia, for example, have gone up almost $1,200. It's about $300 per year. This year, Fairfax County Board of Supervisors advertised a proposed property tax increase of 4 cents. It will increase the average bill about $300. That's on top of what they've already done. The average tax bill in Fairfax will be $5,662 compared to $4,075 in Montgomery County. Although this budget is carefully constrained in some areas, the budget continues the county's significant investment in a number of areas: public safety, our positive youth development initiative, senior programs, and the growing county's tax base at the same time is something that we've done as well. This budget boasts economic development and job growth with $4.2 million appropriation for the new Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation, which will lead the county's business entities. $500,000 expand the funding for the county MOVE program to attract business to fill vacant office space. $11.5 million for capital programs to expand the transportation option and facilitate job growth and bus rapid transit. And $1 million for WorkSource Montgomery Incorporated, the new entity charged with the developing and matching the workforce development needs of Montgomery County. I recommend $308 million for our Montgomery College. An esteemed college has worked very hard to prepare our students for the workforce. This includes a county contribution of $130 million. That is a $2 million increase above the maintenance of effort. Now, since 2013, the county contributions to the college has increased by 37% per pupil contribution of about 50% over the same period. This budget provides for an increase of funding for the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission by $3.3 million, or 2.4%. I fully fund a body camera program for the entire county police force and increase staffing in Clarksburg and Germantown areas to address demands in growing population. I say all of this because we have now an outstanding police department. But let's remember that this is a difficult job. We just had this Sunday an officer killed in Prince George's County, and our hearts go out to the hard work and the efforts that are being made on our behalf for our police department and all of our first responders. Keep in mind, this is a difficult, difficult job, and the things that we are doing are designed to help them to do the important job, but they need our support and our help and the resources to make their job better and to protect us. I expand the number of firefighters, paramedics, and extend advanced life support services in this budget. I also fully restored public libraries to the fundings prior to the downturn that we had over the last few years. Keep in mind that our libraries were reduced by 26%, and we've restored all of that with the additions over the last few years. Weekend hours at Bethesda, Gaithersburg, Germantown, and Silver Spring libraries will be, in fact, increased. I also recommend an increase in funding for the service for the developmental disabled by $1 million. It strengthens senior services by lowering the eligibility age for call and ride, opening North Potomac Community Center and enhancing operations of 3 senior centers throughout the county. The budget increases support for home delivery meals, expanding adult daycare, and significantly increases community grants to organizations serving seniors and our youth. Expanding the county's Excel Beyond the Bell after-school program, initiating Child First after-school programs at South Lake, Burnt Mills Elementary School, and expanding year-round soccer programs for our youth. Funds for affordable housing at $47 million, bringing the affordable housing investment over the last 10 years to over $800 million. This budget sets aside 8.4% of the budgets as a reserve. That's the highest in the county's history. And it keeps the county on target to obtain 10% by year 2020. It maintains funding for the mandated level of funding to pay future county residents retiree health. It's a remarkable achievement. Few jurisdictions have, in fact, done that. I want to thank all of you. I know that this budget may be a disappointment to some, but it's an opportunity for many. I've tried to constrain and balance both revenues and the expected needs of our county. But it is time now for us to fully address the challenges we face with our educational system and respond to the challenges of the Wynne case. This is a budget that I think addresses all of those factors. I certainly want to thank our budget director, Jennifer Hughes, for her outstanding work and her staff. I want to thank Joe Beach for his outstanding work. And all of this is led by our outstanding Chief Administrative Officer, Tim Feinstein. Let's give them all a round of applause for their tremendous work. Let me thank all the hard work and leadership of our department heads, our outside agencies, and all of those who have worked with us to make this possible. This is a good budget, but this is a budget that has some challenges. I urge you to talk to our council members and others and make sure that we provide the resources that are necessary to accomplish the mission that I've outlined today. Thank you very much this morning. Thank you. Thank you.